In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Hey, everybody. Well, I mean, everybody. Everybody who isn't dead from the hurricane, welcome to the program. Oh, I hope everybody in Florida is safe from Hurricane Milton. Of course, Hurricane Milton, a hurricane that leaves 8- and 9-year-olds chained up in a basement. I don't understand how winds and driving rains can do that, but those are the reports we're getting on the ground. Welcome to the show. I'm excited. Super chat starting already this morning, and Plankton, you asshole. $9.99 from Plankton. You asked last night, what is the Mexican national fish? It's the Central American wetback. It's invasive. Some would classify that as racist. Did you know that? Look, man, I'm not one to assume motive. I don't like it when people assume motive. So I'm going to assume Plankton didn't know, and that this has been a very educational moment for him. Jesus Christ. Hey, I don't mean to be this guy, but is it maybe too early for that? I mean, that was literally 6 a.m. That's where that super chat is. That's the time log on that super chat on my chat ninja. 6 a.m. and Steel Toe has begun racial slur super chats already. You build the audience you create. That's what they say. By the way, good news, bad news. Last night's evening show was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The audience enjoyed it. They didn't get their overtime because you guys stole it from them. But they did get close to pulling the quad last night. Of course, in the morning, you guys pulled the trifecta. Thank you very much for your generosity. They got you guys down to 190. It's not bad. They got you guys down to 190. And that's our number for this morning. Now, I could do one of two things. I could shut the fuck up about that 190 till, the last hour and a half or so. Or, here's something good. We could knock out that 190 in the first hour, and then we're done with goals for the rest of the week. Wouldn't that be nice? I'll leave it up to you guys. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, etc. Again, Plankton starting us off with $9.99 and Bigotry, getting us to 190 to start the day. I did find an official Mexican fish, and it had a very, it's Mexican fish that looks weird. I don't, axolotl. I found the axolotl yesterday. If you've never seen this thing, prepare to... I mean, it looks like something out of a fucking nightmare. It looks like something that you would see in a dream, and it would look nice, and it's going to help you navigate the forest, and then it just lunges at you with, like, poisonous spit and dagger fingers and murders you. That's an axolotl. And I guess we could call that the Mexican fit. What the fuck? Giant salamanders of Mexico. Ah! See, I told you, it's a fucking weirdo. Look at them. They look cute. They look like something you would see like in some kind of cartoon or some kind of sweet merchandising deal or something like that. They're demonic. They're demonic. What's that giant? Is it Japanese? There's like a giant salamander thing, and I don't know what it's called. And now I'm starting to think it's just called the giant salamander, and I look like an asshole. It's that big gooey looking thing. Giant. Oh, yep. It's just called. Yep. Literally just called giant salamander. So when I ask you, hey guys, what's that giant salamander thing? It's just a giant salamander. Hey, what's that shark? It's great and it's white. And I was wondering, porkers. You're talking about porkers. I'm not talking about fishing for oh God, what was it? Something and Tommy Cats. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking. What was he catching? I'm not talking about hooking something and Tommy Cats. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking. I need other autists. What is it that Quint says? I'm not. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm here. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking. Where is it? Old Robert Shaw. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking. What's the fucking line, though? Here we go.
Mr. Hooper, I'm not talking about pleasure boating or day sailing. I'm talking about working for a living. I'm talking about sharking.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about... I'm not talking about pleasure cruising or day sailing. I'm talking about working for a living. Okay, what was the Tommy? I'm not talking about hooking Molly Cods and Tommy Cats or whatever it was. What's that one? God damn it. I don't even have that right because when I search it, for some reason, a Tommy Morrison documentary came up. So yeah, I didn't get that right either. God damn it. I'm gonna need the chat on this one. Klopogram says YouTube is down. YouTube isn't down. YouTube seems fine. Am I wrong? The Tatler says, lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes. Doesn't seem to be living till he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and you hear that high-pitched kind of a screaming, and the ocean fills with blood. I'll never put on a life jacket again. I believe it or not, and this is, I mean, if you think I'm a douche now, I've gotten way better since high school. For a play audition. That's right, boys and girls. A play audition. I was in plays in high school. I played football, basketball, baseball, and I was in dramas. So I was either I was either a tough guy athlete with a heart of gold that acted, or I was a closeted homosexual trying to prove my masculinity. I'll let you guys decide which one it was. But Chips and Diff says you're not helping the gay rumor. One of my auditions in high school was the Indianapolis speech from Jaws. I did that monologue. I did the knock and everything. I used to have that whole Indianapolis speech committed to memory. USS Indianapolis. You were on the Indianapolis? Here it is.
Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. He was coming
back from the island of Tinian to Lady.
Just
delivered the bomb. The Hiroshima
bomb.
Vessel went down in
1,100 men went into the water. Vessel went down in 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger.
13 footer. You know that when you're in the water, Chief. You measure from the dorsal to the tail.
Dorsal to the tail.
Of course, we didn't know. Our bomb mission had been so secret. No distress signal had been sent.
So secret. No distress signal had been sent.
Oh yeah, and then he takes the big sip. First light, Chief.
Even list as
overdue for a week. First light, Chief. Sharks come cruising.
Very first light, Chief. Sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. You know, kind of like old squares.
Like you see in the calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo, and the idea was the shark comes the nearest man, and he's pounding and hollering and screaming, and sometimes the shark go away. Sometimes he wouldn't go away.
Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark's eyes?
Lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Like a doll's eye. When he could...
Fucking dude, that whole scene. And look, man, I don't feel like getting kicked off or demonetized right away this morning, but that is. I'm not very good at remembering like individual, and I know you're gonna call bullshit on this. I'm not good at recalling individual scenes of movies that I love and like ranking them as my favorite. If gun to my head, you just go favorite scene in any movie, I go Indianapolis speech in Jaws. One of the best scenes in any movie, and like an underrated scene in movies is Mel Gibson and Gary Sinise's phone call in the movie Ransom. Oh my God. If you like yelly acting, that's the one. I'll have your fucking head on a pike. Do you understand me? When I'm done with you, you'll wish you hadn't been born. Oh my God. Do you know someone who wouldn't turn you in for $2 million? Because I don't. Tatler says one of the great movie scenes of all time. Yeah, like I said, gun to my head, that's my favorite movie scene ever. Nana's Clam says tough guy athlete with a heart of gold. Aaron sure does love blowing himself. Fuck, that one was extra shitty. I said that was one of your choices. One of your choices was that you could have chosen closeted gay who overcompensated by being an athlete. Thank you very much, which some would argue I'm still doing now with the boxing. Mayor Larry Vaughn says, don't forget who signed Quint's contract. That's right, Mayor Vaughn. And, you know, it's my boat, it's my charter, it's my vessel. God damn. Now, you know what? Now today might be a Jaws day. I got time. I got to do some Patreon stuff. I got to throw the audio shows on the Patreon. And I'm sorry to people who are still on that. I've done a very shitty job with that. But I got to do that today. And then outside of that, really nothing until 5:30 when I leave to go do boxing. All right, so we got on that. I watched the movie Blink twice yesterday after the evening show. That's a fucked up little film. Channing Tatum, Zoe Kravitz. There's Zoe Saldana and Zoe Kravitz, right? This was the Kravitz one. She directed it. She starred in it. Haley Joel Osment's in it. It's a fucked up little film. It's pretty good. I mean, it like at the end especially, it lays on the fucking girl power shit. Like but really, dude, it doesn't get heavy-handed until the end. I mean, the end is like total girl boss fantasy. Like it starts out as just like a weird island retreat, like adult Epstein fucked up billionaire kind of thing. And then it's like party movie. And then it just kind of slowly devolves into a horror thriller. And then the end is just total, if I ruled the world. It's just like real Beyonce shit at the end. Not a bad flick, though. Not a bad watch. And then fell asleep to Black Snake Moan is a movie I do not watch enough. Black Snake Moan is always a great, great watch. One of Samuel L. Jackson's best performance. What was it, Lazarus? Fucking rules. Back when Christina Ricci was like the hottest thing. Was she with Owen Benjamin back then? Because people don't know this. I think she was engaged to Owen, which, good for him. Tatler says, isn't that the scene where Mel Gibson tells Sinise to get R'd by a pack of N-words? Yeah, I believe that was from, I think we can pull that clip up. That is from the movie Ransom. Let's go Mel Gibson. I can't say that. Recording of Mel Gibson's alleged racist rant.
On July 9, 2010.
I mean, what do you really call? I mean, what is racism, really?
RadarOnline.com released a recording.
Someone made Anthony Cumia a Kiwi farm story. I didn't know Cumia was on the farms.
Of a phone call in which actor Mel feigned language for young audience.
It'll be your fault.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Public, and it's a fucking embarrassment to me. You look like a fucking bitch on heat, and if you get raped by a pack of niggers, it'll be your
Jesus!
fault.
I didn't know that it was gonna go all the way. Fuck, Mel. Jesus. Yeah, I know, but that was not from the movie Ransom. You were incorrect. Whoever said that in the chat, Tatler, no, you had that confused. That was him talking to his girlfriend. It was not. You know what? I appreciate you trying to recall movie lines with me. That makes me feel good. But no, he did not tell Gary Sinise that he hoped he got R'd by a pack of N's. He told his girlfriend that. What about that dead gun guy? Annoyed Wawa Supervisor says, Aaron, you can say what you want about that dead gun guy, but he has certainly updated his Patreon more over the last month. You got me. Dr. Rondo says that Russian bitch deserved it. I will say this. I do think Mel got railroaded publicly on that deal because she was a dead-eyed, cold Eastern European mail-order whore, and she was fucking with him. She was spending a shitload of his money on a music career that didn't fucking exist. He was good to her. He left his wife for her, which some would say is karma. I get that. But, you listen to that tape and you're like, oh my God, he's terrible. But it's the classic example. And guys like Mel don't get this kindness. They don't get this generosity. But you listen to that voicemail and everyone's initial reaction, it was mine too. Everyone's initial reaction is to just go, oh my God, he's terrible. Oh my God, he's awful. Nobody stops and thinks and goes, okay, people aren't like this normally. Like nobody who's having a good day and nobody's fucking with them is going, I hope, and if you get by a packet, it'll be your fault. Like nobody just belts that out. That's not somebody's natural state of being. Somebody did something to Mel. Mel is going off for a half hour at this chick on a voice recording because she's been fucking with him. She's been taking advantage of him, and he's Mel fucking Gibson. And he would like a woman who treats him like he's Mel fucking Gibson. Not some chick who's going to spend all his money on a shitty music career and just go, look at my tits. And he doesn't want that. He wants I believe he said in the, yeah.
Do you personally dislike?
Oh, sorry.
You're a dishonest cunt! You should just fucking smile and blow me!
And then at one point in the recording, Mel Gibson says, I need a woman, not a, what was it? I need a woman, not a something bitch with a dysfunctional cunt. Like something, Mel didn't just offer that up because that's who Mel is. Mel was driven to that. That was a fucked up dude. Jack Peters says, dude, your eyes are so swollen. What the fuck? You know what? That actually, I know Jack Peters is like a kind of a crazy hater guy, but like, thank you for that because this eye has felt fucked up since yesterday. my left eye has felt puffy, like right here. It's really sore, and I don't know what that is. Some people are going to say AIDS, but I've already checked. It's not. But I've got like puffiness, and it's tender to the touch on my left eye. I don't like that. Do we have puffy eyes today? Dude, if that's the case, that is no good. That is no good. Annoyed Wawa supervisor says, okay, then now play the clip where Mel says, I'm not a racist. Somebody did this to me. I was, Piffy, you know what? Here's how gay I can be. Piffy Puffs just wrote in the chat, did you get? And then put a fist out like this, which if you're not gay, you see that and you go, did you get punched? I haven't boxed since Tuesday. And yesterday this started. So maybe, I mean, it's possible. One thing you can get is if people don't have clean gloves, if people don't like clean their gloves and like, you know, take care of them, and you spar with people, shit can get rubbed in your eye when you're. I've had that. I've actually had a scratched cornea, not from a punch, but I scratched my cornea because some guy had something on his gloves and it rubbed on my eye. Fucking McBuster says, dude had a dirty dick. I don't like this idea that we're jumping right to I just fucked a guy. But Piffy Puffs wrote, did you get, and then put a fist like this. Now, if you're a heterosexual man with nothing to hide, you go, oh, that means did you get punched? I read McBuster's thing and I went, wait, is he asking if I got fisted? Because no, of course not. What the fuck? Chips and Diff says, you sure it wasn't from Twister? I don't think it was a delayed reaction from Twister. But thank you. I appreciate that. No, like, final thoughts on the Mel Gibson thing from fucking 12 years ago. So, like she'd been fucking with Mel. She'd been fucking with Mel. He didn't like it anymore. So Mel decided to hit back and she recorded it. Like she's about a piece of shit. Alexiana Gregorieva or whatever the fuck her name is. Fauci's Pangolin says, Aaron, when you get fisted and your brown eye gets swollen, do you put ice on it or some of grandma's salve? You know what I don't like about that question? That question does not even allow me to defend against the fisting allegations, because the fisting is not even an allegation in that hypothetical. It's an assumption. It's just an assumption that we all agree the fisting has happened, and we're not asking you if it did happen. We're just saying. So if I deny the fisting occurred, then I'm not even actually that. Now it just looks like I'm dodging the question. Coltrane says no more jizz facials, Aaron. You know, I should know better by now than to ask you guys honest questions looking for help. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's not your guys' fault for calling me gay or saying no more jizz facials or anything like that. That's not your fault. I don't blame you. I don't think you're a bad person. I think I opened the door and you guys simply just walk right in because it's comfortable. Piffy Puff says, so if shit particles get on your gloves, you can give pink and black eyes at the same time. Okay. McBuster says he loves to make your brown eye blue. Don't open your eyes when you eat ass, bro. Thank you, Jack Sixes. I appreciate that. Approachable says you getting fisted isn't an assumption. It's an educated guess. Well, that seems like a downgrade, so we've downgraded it. I've pled down to educated guess that I'm getting fisted. And by the way, I'm not the one doing the fisting in this case. I'm getting fisted. Patriot Jin says, well, women did destroy this country and the gays. Wow, really? I mean, you could argue that after the 19th, things, they haven't been, particularly better. I would say the CIA and FBI staging a coup in 1963 in Dallas and taking over the government and never giving back power might have fucked up this country, but, I can't really blame the de-evolution of America on the gays, though. I don't have that one in me. I mean, what have they done? What have they done that wasn't already happening? I think the gays just kind of jumped on at the end, as they do. Bappa Shab says, shout out to the fly that landed on Aaron's mic stand 40 seconds ago. Yep. Temperatures are dropping in Minnesota, and you open the door and just flies want to fucking scoot in as fast as they fucking can. I killed 2 yesterday. I got 1 left. Kraken Slappin says, you have been fisted, allegedly, but really, you have been fisted. That's not even giving me a chance to address it. Patriot Jin says, this is the worst podcast. It's not the worst. We're not off to a good start. I mean, did I want to start today with fisting? I mean, we've talked about Jaws. We've talked about Mel Gibson movies. We've talked about love, racism, bigotry, homophobia, fisting, boxing. We're only 20 minutes in, and we've kind of run the gambit already, Patriot Jin. But thank you for your opinion. I appreciate it. Klopogram says, coming this Christmas, Aaron Imholt in Jingle Penis, a Christmas take on Brokeback Mountain. You know what? You guys aren't even trying anymore. Speaking of gay, let's talk about Howard Stern, shall we? So on Tuesday, Howard had Kamala Harris on allegedly the remnants of the Howard Stern show. And they talked about a lot of things, and they said a lot of stupid shit to each other, and it was, a 150% fucking hug box interview. I mean, there's no way it wasn't going to be. Danny Polachuk made that AI video where Howard and Kamala had a different kind of interview, but I think there was one part of Stern, Kamala, SNL. I want to bring up this clip for you. There is, oh God, so we don't have the Howard clip of him saying, there was a clip. We can play this one too, but there was a clip of Howard Stern saying, it's too serious of a time in this country right now, and they shouldn't be making fun of Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live. This guy, it's almost like Howard Stern has accepted a challenge that we didn't know about that says, hey, Howard, today when you go on the show, do me a favor. Be a bigger pussy than everybody thinks you are. Like, take the amount of gay F-word pussy that people already think you are and just totally let the bottom fall out of it. And he goes, I can do that. Maybe that's Howard's new gimmick. Maybe like when we loved him, he was like, Howard, let's see how trashy and let's see how, beneath community standards you can get with your content. And he was, all right, I'm going to push the envelope even further today. Maybe he's still doing that, but maybe what he's doing is he's pushing it in the other direction. Now they're like, Howard, you've dropped the bottom out of indecency and all that. You've accomplished that mission. Here's what we're going to do until the day you die. You're going to see if you can make yourself look like the world's biggest fucking scared, shitless, chicken shit, dickhead pussy. And then every day you're going to get people to think that this is it. This is rock bottom for the Howard Stern show. And then we're going to knock the bottom out of that bag too. That's going to be our new goal. And so far, Howard's doing that. So we have a couple of clips from the Howard Stern show Kamala Harris interview. These are real clips. And then we have Donald Trump had a response to Howard Stern's interview of Kamala Harris. And to be honest with you, like the day that Donald Trump is more of a badass shit talker than Howard Stern, we've lost the plot here on planet Earth. Let's check out this clip from the Stern show.
When you said you don't nap, I get it, because like what you've taken on is extraordinarily difficult. And I mean, do you feel the pressure of the moment in the...
Did he just say, is old Jewish Grandpa Howard talking about naps? So you said that you don't take any naps. I was wondering, how do you function properly without taking a little bit of a nap? Because I know that if I don't lie down by 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm essentially useless. What is this, the old booby Jewish talk hour?
When you said you don't nap, I get it, because like what you've taken on is extraordinarily difficult. And I mean, do you feel the pressure of the moment in the sense that, like, when I met you out in the hall, I said, I'm really nervous because I want this to go well for you.
What a fucking bitch. And I'm not talking about Kamala this time. It's like, is it still hard to watch for any of you? Because I'm getting that feeling. I'm getting that feeling where I'm preparing to hurt watching this, and that feeling isn't coming anymore. Like I get that feeling where I'm like, I'm going to be disappointed by Howard, and I'm going to think about the good old days, and this clip is going to make me sad. I don't get that anymore. Like that's all past. He's just a giant fucking Jewish grandpa pussy at this point.
I want it to go well for the country. Even when I watch them on Saturday Night Live with the where they have Maya Rudolph playing you, I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of.
Oh my God, what a it. I don't want you. The guy who had whores writing Sibians, he made Artie Lang would make porn stars cry when they came in, talking to them about their dads. The guy who fucking did blackface with Sherman Helmsley, the guy who played Black Jeopardy and Lesbian Dial-A-Date and Bestiality Dial-A-Date and all this other shit. This guy who did all this fucked up shit, said all these terrible things. The guy who went on the air and said that he hopes he's going to skull fuck Mancow's dead father, that he's going to dig up Mancow's dead father and have sex with him. That guy is looking at someone that he should be making fun of, someone running for president, and I mean that with Trump too. Someone he should be making fun of, and he's going, I don't like it when they make fun of you on Saturday Night Live because it's too serious, and you'd all be dead now if it wasn't for my Kamala.
I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of. There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now, I mean, as America, land of the free, home of the brave, I think it's literally on the line.
How about that this isn't a Danny Polachuk AI interview? How about that's actually what he said? And that was the clip I was looking for, by the way. It just took a second to get there. I don't want them making fun of you on Saturday Night Live because the election is too important. Howard, I have 2 words for you, and it's a demand, not a request. Retire. It's over, baby. I don't want, like, again, there's the embarrassing the shit out of yourself bag that Howard has. And every morning a producer like Baba Booey comes up to him and says, Howard, I got instructions from Sirius XM and your agent, Don Buchwald. Apparently today we're supposed to let the bottom fall out of the duffel bag of embarrassment and douchiness. So, good luck, champ. You're up to bat. And he goes, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Hey, Kamala, I don't think it's right. I don't think they should make fun of you on Saturday Night Live because, it's just the election's too important. And here's one area where I do agree with Howard Stern 100%. The future of the country is absolutely at stake. And do I wish we had someone other than Donald Trump for the country being at stake? Yes, I do. But we don't. That's all we got. So let's go with that because this is a shill, a tool of the military-industrial complex, of the New World Order, of all of those things that take away the power from the people and give it to oligarchs. That's what this is. This is evil. How Howard Stern does, and I don't mean like evil like Kamala Harris, if you met her, is an evil person. That's not what I mean. I mean, she is the embodiment, representation, and flag bearer for evil in the world. She is the manifestation of all of its wants. Whereas Donald Trump is a symbol of selfishness. Donald Trump is a symbol of greed. Donald Trump is a symbol of personal ambition. Sure. Absolutely. Of ego. But I'd much rather have that than the embodiment of all the evil that wants to be done to the people of this country. And for Howard Stern to not be able to see that just really frustrates the shit out of me. And to go a step further and go, They shouldn't make fun of you on Saturday Night Live. It's too important. So if you're wondering, hey, who still watches the Howard Stern show? SNL. And if you're still wondering, hey, who the fuck still watches SNL? Howard Stern. It's a circular stroke box that keeps each other alive, essentially. Irish New York says another blackmailed piece of shit celebrity steps forward. Fuck Howie. Yeah, well, you mean blackmailed like...
You goddamn drug addict, you blackmailed piece of shit, meth head, fuck you.
Halada Fachina says, this is Aaron in 15 years. I fucking wish. I will say this. I mean, the money would be nice. Jack Sixes says, hard to believe this fuck isn't canceled. You know, Jack Sixes, I've wondered that myself. I've wondered if, and this is just me having fun with conspiracy theories and me also not wanting to believe that one of my favorite broadcasters of all time just turned into a fucking pussy when he went through menopause. But I wonder if someone didn't come to him at some point and say, Howard, we've got X, Y, and Z on you. We own you now. You're ours. You will do what we tell you to do. Because Howard Stern had a cultural impact. Howard Stern was a guy, believe it or not, that I would say back in 2010 and before, from about 1986 to 2010, Howard Stern was a guy who could have stood up to cancel culture, could have stood up to joke policing and all of that stuff, all of the things that got all these people fired and canned and everything else. He could have been not a valuable ally. He could have been the fucking commander-in-chief of the anti-cancel culture movement. They could have had Sharpton and Jackson and the women's rights groups and the gay rights groups and all these other cancel blogs and websites. Howard standing up as our general against all that shit, they never would have stood a chance. And I think they knew that. I think the people who wanted to control the culture knew that if Howard Stern became the flag bearer for anti-cancel culture, their shit never would have gotten off the ground. If Howard Stern would have came out and defended Imus, because I do believe that the nappy-headed hoe thing, that's what let the demons in. That if you make me go back to history, people have asked me this enough in my broadcasting career, like, when did it start? When did it start? I've had enough time to think about it. It was the nappy-headed hose thing with Imus. And if Howard would have dug his heels in and done the right thing and went, hey, I don't like Imus. He and I hate each other's guts. He doesn't deserve to be fired for this. This is bullshit. Back off Sharpton. Back off Jackson. Let the guy do his job. If you don't like it, don't listen. Because we had lost Carlin by then. Carlin was the guy. Carlin was holding cancel culture at bay because Carlin was so effective at mocking people. Carlin had a way of intelligently taking people and their motivations apart and making people laugh. And when you make people laugh at powerful people, that hurts them. That attacks them right in the ego, right at home. Howard could have been that guy. Howard could have been, and if you didn't pay attention to Howard before 2010, you might not get this. Howard had the ability to replace Carlin. Howard was that much of a cultural influencer. He could have replaced George Carlin as our guy. Another guy who, while not on the same level, was getting more and more famous, and I think could have also stood up to cancel culture, Patrice O'Neal, because he attacked it with such a surgical precision with his opinions and his thoughts, and he was fucking hysterical. That Elephant in the Room stand-up special, I would say in the 21st century, it's probably top 5. I think comedy specials in the last 20 years, I'll go Louis C.K. Chewed Up. No, Hilarious. The one with the blue background. I think that one's hilarious. Shameless, I think, is the Louis one I'm thinking of. Louis C.K. Shameless, although Chewed Up and Hilarious are both really good too. Louis C.K. Shameless, Doug Stanhope, Beer Hall Putsch, and Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room. If you made me gun to my head the 3 best stand-up specials of the last 20 years, I'm going with Stanhope, Patrice, and C.K. Yes, better than Dave Chappelle. Dave, Dave kind of tried to be the anti-cancel culture guy a couple of years ago, you remember, with the trans stuff and all that. And I think what they proved is that it was too late. By the time Dave Chappelle got in there and he said, I'm going to make waves, I'm going to start some shit, it was too late. They kind of just brushed that one off and kept going. I mean, now it's just like, we're going to get that guy. And then they don't get him and they go, nah, well, whatever. We tried. We'll go on to the next thing. We'll get them. And I think they've recruited enough people to their way of thinking. They have enough zombies that whether or not they get the guy isn't important. But Howard could have been that ultimate pushback. And a lot of this shit never would have happened. I'm thinking the people who run things, the people who are in charge, went to Howard and said, we've got this, this, and this on you. Or, hey, we'll give you America's Got Talent. Hey, Howie, we're going to try and change the culture. We're going to try and make funny, witty, acerbic takedowns of powerful people offensive and wrong and get you canceled for it. We don't want you standing in our way. And you know how you've always wanted to be Hollywood Howie? You know how you've always wanted to be accepted by the mainstream? Well, guess what, Howard? We, your friends here in Hollywood, we accept you, we love you, and we think you're a national treasure, and we'd like you to do America's Got Talent. And Howard, being the dumb fuck, desperate to be loved that he is, took the deal and changed his whole outlook, changed his whole position on life, speech, content, everything, politics, you name it. And I really do. I think the price they paid was cheap because Howard went to America's Got Talent and that was it. He shut off everything else, shut everything else off and went, ooh, fuck you guys. This is what I always wanted to do anyway. So I think somebody got to Howard for sure. Lander says, oh, Aaron, that's the dumbest fucking thing I have ever heard you say. Which part? Which part? What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard me say? Dude, I'm sorry. Howard was big enough to slow that shit down. For sure. Lander says, Howard's not a comedian. He was never funny. He hid behind a fat cokehead. Well, he's a heroin addict, but I get it. A retarded black midget and a stuttering moron. First of all, that black midget and stuttering moron are two of the most legendary characters in radio history. And a lot of fun was had because of that retarded black midget and stuttering moron. Like, I mean, you just got to be honest. You can't be a liar. You got to be honest about it. Mr. Approachable has a clip. Let's see. Oh, God, what did I do? What did I do? And by the way, I'm not the one doing the fisting in this case. I'm getting fisted. Wait, what? No, I meant in the thing that the guy wrote. I was the guy. You know what I've learned over the years is why are you defending? Let's play. Why are you defending yourself? Yeah, somebody sent me a clip of the Holly Weird Squares game with Howard Stern. Yeah, look at this. Where'd the here? You got Daniel Carver, a Klansman. Gilbert, Jeff the Drunk, Elephant Boy, gay bashers, whores, and retards. And that's his Holly Weird Squares game that he played on his show. But, you know, hey, guys, he really doesn't like Kamala Harris getting made fun of on Saturday Night Live, guys. It's not right that anybody makes fun of Kamala Harris. That's just, I mean, that's beyond the pale. That's mean-spirited. And I really, honestly, guys, I wish you would stop. I wish you would stop. Everybody hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow, hit share today. Looking to knock an easy one out. Let's do it early. 190 is our number for today. Thank you very much for your contributions. Let's knock it out early, right? You guys hit a triple yesterday. The nighttime audience, they gave you over $100 into your goal this morning. You guys do have free 30 minutes of overtime because you knocked out so many goals yesterday. You got 30. So if we knock out today's goal, that's going to be an extra hour. So I got to be ready to go 5 hours for the third time this week because you guys have been so generous with our lovely little program that we have here. 190 is the number. Let's christen the PayPal and the Venmo before 7 o'clock and see what we can do. Thanks, guys. Oh, God. So Howard Stern, did he really say the sun's going to go out if Donald Trump gets elected? No. Harris told Stern that her opponent, former President Trump, has a desire to be a dictator. Guys, you can't buy this shit. He had 4 years. If he wanted to be Darth Vader, he would have done it. Wow, did you guys know that his master plan was to actually have power for 4 years? Let that first 4 go, lose an election, then come back and get it again so he could make himself dictator? Because, by God, he just plumb forgot that first 4 years, forgot to get to it. Shit. Feed a bunch of college football players McDonald's? Check. Cut some taxes? Check. Get some Supreme Court nominees appointed? Check. Become ever-ruling dictator for life. Oh, man, I knew I forgot something. Because you know what people who want to be dictators do? Let themselves lose elections. You guys literally had all the power. You fucked with the election. You fucked with COVID. You've been fucking with social media. You've been like Elon Musk bought one of the least popular social media sites out there. Like when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, Twitter's pretty low down on the totem pole. Elon Musk got one of the least popular ones. And the left lost their fucking mind and went, we need to stop him. We need to stop him. He's the fucking worst. Jesus Christ. I mean, literally, one of the lowest bottom-feeding social media things. And they immediately wanted censorship of social media because they didn't control it anymore. Let's go. Oh, we got a little break-in over on the PayPal end of things. Let's go throw a thank you out there. Jason says, good morning, A-Dog. Oh, I get it. Yep, A-Dog ain't going away. There's no getting rid of A-Dog. Thank you for the 420, buddy. I appreciate that. Today is 185. That's the number for, again, 1 hour of overtime today for 185. Thank you very much. Keep those Streamlabs, PayPals, and Venmos coming. I stumbled upon, it came up in my algorithm. There's a YouTube channel called _Mersh. And it is a clips channel that kind of shits on Mersh and makes him look bad. And apparently, and I didn't realize that people like, that there's this big cabal, there's this big coalition. I didn't realize that I was the fucking Napoleon of small-time podcasts, that the royal families have to build this coalition and go, we have to get him, which is a fucking honor. Like I said, best heel in the business, Napoleon of small-time nobody podcasters. The king of this shit, really. I guess Mersh on one of these clips was like, Aaron does fake donos. And I don't think he was having a seizure while he said this, so he can't blame it on whatever the fuck is in that vape pen. But he goes, Aaron gets fake donos. Like he's like, oh yeah, it always seems like it's coming in. He goes, oh yeah, he always acts like it's coming in via PayPal. I'm like, yeah, you know, that obscure nothing payment service that nobody's ever heard of where you get all your fake donos. He says it's coming in via something called PayPal. I don't know. I was having a seizure the other day from my hit on my vape pen, and I was thinking, you know, I think this Aaron, he's just faking those donos on PayPal. I'm like, why don't you just admit I'm a cockroach and I'm not going away? Why can't you just admit that to yourself rather than make yourself look so foolish? And that goes for a handful of different small-time streamers. But honest to Christ, I mean, if I'm Mersh, I'm keeping my eye on my own bobber. That Rumble contract is going away. You came back to YouTube and nobody seemed to care. I'd be keeping my eyes on my own shit. But, like, to be honest, like going like, Aaron's faking donos. There's this thing called PayPal, and he says he gets money on it. That's what I do. I fake donos because if they're fake, I can turn them into real money to keep Steel Toe going. I'm a talented motherfucker. Hey, Steel Toe says, R.I.P. Mitch McConnell. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the thing where someone says R.I.P. somebody and I go look it up only to find out they're not dead. You're not getting me today. He's getting me today, isn't he? I'm going to look that up right after I put this super chat on the screen. I'm going to look it up. I have to. Landers says Mersh has his cats to finger bang. He will be fine. I think we're supposed to put allegedly at the end of that. Approachable says, no, you're the Napoleon of podcasting. Little dick, and you keep playing around in places you don't belong. McBuster says, Mersh is nothing. I don't get why anyone likes it. Well, I think he can be funny. I think sometimes he can be entertaining. I think the internet gets to him from time to time, but I have noticed that the common denominator between the people who build their little coalitions and really see that Steel Toe, no children. And I think that's important because I think kids kind of like distract you, like you have shit you need to do. Like when the kids are here, when the kids aren't here, I'm still doing shit for the kids, you know? And I think when you don't have children, you have way too much time to kill. Like there are times when the kids are at school, in the summertime, I have no time. I have like 2 days a week where I don't see the kids. And it's just those 2 days I'm getting shit done for when the kids come back. You know, grocery shopping, laundry, shit like that. But like, even in the school year, when the kids go back to school and I don't see them as much, you get bored. You sit there and you get bored and you got to go do shit because otherwise you'll just sit there and be a bump on a log. Or like in these guys' case, you'll obsess over somebody on the internet who's having a good time. You'll see that you'll look terrible. You won't be able to see yourself from the outside and see that people think you look like shit. You'll associate yourself with weird, skeezy people, and you'll fill your time with horseshit. Like, I love the fact that I'm this important. I love the fact that I rattle so many people, smaller than me, bigger than me. But at the same time, I do find it a little sad. And again, the common denominator is it's people without children. And they'll clip it and they'll comment on it and they'll defend themselves from it because people without kids, when you point out that your life is kind of pointless, the way you live it. I'm not saying all people without kids have a pointless. A lot of people without kids do very productive things. Like they take that time and they use it as motivation to accomplish shit. But like people who spend all their time on the internet because they have no children to complete their lives, I mean, I don't think they see how pathetic it looks from those of us who don't do that. But again, swing for the fences. That's what I say. Don't stop because it makes me feel good. Coyote NV says, any interest in the MLB playoffs? I will admit, I'm a selfish bitch, and you just asking me if I give a shit about the baseball playoffs, I have to pause for a second before I start yelling and throwing a fucking tantrum. Because the Twins didn't. The Twins were supposed to make the fucking playoffs this year, and they didn't, and I'm mad. And I'm going to go on a Fire Rocco Baldelli rant, and it's going to become a whole thing. Look, here's what I choose to focus on, Coyote. The Vikings are 5-0, and I don't know what I'm going to do for the... Oh, no, I do know what I'm going to do for the bye week. The kids and I were going to get pumpkins, and they're going to carve pumpkins. That's what we're going to do. And I think it's going to be nice enough where we can carve pumpkins outside. That's what I'll do because the Vikings aren't on. What do we got this weekend? Friday, 69. Saturday, 62. Perfect. 62, you can still go outside. Carve up some pumpkins. Why not? Thank you, Coyote, for the $4.99. I appreciate it. 185 is our number for today. Thank you for your generosity to this stupid, silly little show. I did see Misery Loves Clips put up a screenshot of Keanu with 30 viewers. Oof. He said, better get back to that Steel Toe content quick. But even when she had Steel Toe content, there were like 50 or 60 people watching. It's bad. Bad. Papa Shab says, being funny requires self-deprecation. Queen Mersh never makes fun of himself. How can you not? Like, he's a very make-fun-of-able guy, as am I. I don't understand the inability to make fun of oneself. King Kong Dong says, this is for the trolls. But Aaron, I thought you were only on supervised visits. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have the supervisor come by while we're doing all our things. I forgot about the supervised visits. See, that's what happens when you don't have children of your own. You turn into a sniveling ass, essentially. Elza Belza with a great point. Be thankful they don't have children, and hopefully their bloodline dies with them. That's a great point. Every person who's triggered up by steel toe, whether it's Carl Melton, Mersch, Keanu, whatever, it probably is a good thing that unproductive bloodline dies with those people. Jack Sixes says they have been weekend at Bernieing Mitch McConnell for 5 years now. No, hold on a minute. I'm going to check it. I'm going to look, although I know he's alive. So, hey, Steel Toe, you're going to get your way. Mitch McConnell. Latest. Amazing how Trump, along with Mitch McConnell, got such control and slipped those judges in like that. Yeah, I don't believe he's dead. That's a funny one, though, because that's one that you see it at first and you go, why would Hey Steel Toe lie about that? Like, that seems like he's going out of his way to lie about somebody dying. And you know what else? If I go to the Rumble chat right now, Hey Steel Toe is going to be in there going, yes, I got him. There's no pride in it. It's just make this fuck Google it and Twitter it. Make him take his time. And then I say, I know this is horse shit, but I'm going to check it anyway. I know that's handing him the win. And he did get the win. I did check it. Yeah, that's another weird rumor. Hey, Steel Toe says, is Aaron's son autistic? Glass houses much? What? No. No. There's so many. Like I said, when you don't have children of your own, there's so many Steel Toe haters that like make up weird shit about my family. Like to the point where they're so insistent about it. They're like, no, it has to be this way. That like sometimes I'll call my ex-wife, and not that one. I'll call my ex-wife and I'll be like, is our kid retarded? You're not telling me about this? They'll just be like, oh, no, it's absolutely true, 100%. I talked to a family member of theirs I know. No, I feel like Adam Sandler talking to Chris Farley and Billy Madison. Like a Keanu or someone who's like, his family thinks this way about him. You're like, no, they don't. No. But a friend of his and they think he's great. No, they didn't. No, but you can imagine what it would be like if they did. Can't imagine why you're at 60 viewers. Bigot on Socialist Media says Keanu is making videos about BYB now. Dude, really? I never thought I'd say this. I'm on Quadfather's side. McBuster says you buy the pumpkin now and you draw the faces. Then you carve it a couple days before Halloween. Jeesh. Do you decorate the fish for Christmas? I don't know what that means. Is it too early to carve pumpkins? Yeah, you know what? You're right. Pumpkin, it is a little early for pumpkin carving. October 11th? Yeah, that's 20 days. They're not going to make it 20 days, are they? McBuster might have a point. Lander says men without kids are usually fine. It's the bitches without kids who always whine and complain. Even guys without kids, like when they get to their late 30s and 40s, they start to break too. Marls Chanson says Alex Stein and that Bubba cuck were talking about you last night. Alex has been very, very cool to me. I hope my buddy Alex Stein was saying nothing but nice things. I know Bubba doesn't like me. I don't want Bubba to dislike me. I want Bubba to like me. I like Bubba the Love Sponge. I think Bubba the Love Sponge is a good dude. He's made his mistakes, but shit, who am I to throw stones? So, what did they say, Marls Chanson? And by the way, I don't understand your name. Could you explain it to me, Marls Chanson? Can anybody in the chat please explain to me the name Marls Chanson? I don't get it. So if somebody could, and by the way, explain it thoroughly in the chat. The name Marls Chanson. What were they saying about your boy? Was Alex being nice? Was Alex being a good boy? I hope so. Someone says, hey, Steel Toe guy sounds as retarded as Mersh. No, he's cool. I think, hey, Steel Toe just comes in and fucks around once in a while. I think it's kind of fun. Chips and Diff says, that was one fine piece of ace. I would know from experience, dude. Yeah, Keanu is Chris Farley, the bus driver, in Billy Madison. The way she talks about Steel Toe, you're like, do you just wish you were like more involved with my life? She seems like somebody who's on the outside in the wintertime, just pressing her face against the glass of your window, looking into your dining room like, I'm part of that family too. It's like, no, honey, you're not. I'm sorry. You could have had your own family, but you decided to be stupid. King Kong Dong says, as a parent, I feel like your responsibility is to set the kids up with as many opportunities to succeed because they ultimately become your legacy. Yes, that's why fathers get a bad rap, like fathers of athletes and stuff, like, oh, you pushed your son too hard, this and that. And sure, that's not necessarily good. You shouldn't push your shit on your children. A terrible choice of words. You shouldn't push your ambitions on your children, sure. But I do understand to a point a father pushing their son's ambitions onto them because it is selfish. It is a little selfish that, you want your son to accomplish something because it's your legacy and you'll feel you've left something behind. Hopefully your motivation is, I want my child to be happy and successful. And there is something with guys with the son's always going to have your last name and, that survives you. And there's a lot of ego wrapped up in that. And you got to try to balance that. Like, I'll be honest, as a dad, as like when I watch my son hit a baseball and he fucking crushes it, I'm like, oh man, shit, dude, we got to, hey buddy, do you want to, and I'll tell, like, he'll be crushing the ball, be hitting it all over the field. And I'll be like, hey, you want to be in a baseball league next year? And he'll go, no, not really. I just like hitting. And like, there's part of you that goes like, no, push him to be in the baseball league. You got to stop yourself. You got to be like, no. You know what? Look, if the kid likes to hit the baseball, he likes to throw the ball around a little bit, but he doesn't want to be in a league. That's fine. It's what he wants to do. I get it. But, you also watch your kid. Like, my son's left-handed. And when I watch him he's only 7 and we play catch and he's just firing the ball in, I'm like, I think to myself, like, I played amateur baseball, and you're like, do you know how long you can play fucking baseball if you're a left-handed pitcher? Everybody always needs left-handed pitching. And you have to be like, bro, he's fucking 7. Knock it off. You're a weirdo. When he throws a football with a nice tight spiral, I'm like, yeah, that's fucked. Left-handed quarterbacks are dog shit. Let's let that one go. And plus, if you push him too hard on one thing, maybe they missed their true calling. Maybe my son was meant to be the greatest left-handed bowler of all time. 09 Canyon says, what did Keanu do on her show before she met Aaron? Well, before she started shitting on me, you know what she did for content to get views? She used to have me on. Those would be the most watched episodes where Aaron and Frank the Crusader come on. King Kong Dong says, Aaron, I'm going to bring the kids to your neighborhood to sell Scout popcorn next weekend. Bro, don't bring that fucking weak shit around me. Give me a link to the Scout popcorn because I love flavored popcorn. One of my favorite things. I have an air popper that my first girlfriend bought me, and I still use it. It's the fucking great. It's an Orville Redenbacher air popper little thing. And I still use it, man. I love just putting the seeds in the popcorn popper, a little butter, little of the white cheddar seasoning salt, mix that up in a bowl. Oh, man, one of the greatest treats of all time. But I love a good popcorn tin, not the tri-popcorn tin, not the 3-layer thing. I love a good flavored popcorn. My favorite popcorn of all time, Twister corn from Caramel Corn. Delicious. Don't bring me weak shit, though. Like, if you're bringing me fucking Scout popcorn, I want some interesting flavors in there. I don't want fucking, this is butter, this is cheese, and this is caramel. Fuck that noise. Bring the heat. If you're coming into my neighborhood and you're bringing Scout popcorn, you bring the fucking heat or you don't bring it at all. You understand me? Everybody throw really good popcorn links in the chat. We're going to find the best popcorn of all time. That's what we're doing today. McBuster says Kiki and her Mima shared a man sexually. Gino is so pickled to marry this slag. All proceeds today go to get Gino sober so he can get the confidence to leave Mima and Kikums. He loves her. He does. What are you going to do, right? You know this about your friends. You know this about your family members. You can't tell them who to love. You got to let them. You got to let them go. My family had to do it to me. My family warned me. They go, she's not in this for the right reasons. She's all wrong. You shouldn't have her around your kids, this and that. And I was too immature. And this is why I always say after my first divorce, I probably should have gone to therapy. But my reaction to my family giving me these warnings, which turned out to be fucking true. I mean, even if she wasn't so proud, I think she would even admit, yeah, your parents kind of had me nailed from day one. But like multiple family members were telling me this is a problem. You're moving too fast. You shouldn't have her around your children. There's red flags there, blah, blah, blah. And my response, instead of listening to them and being mature, my response was to go, fuck you, I'll show you. And I made it like an us against the world kind of thing. You know, go to Vegas, show them you're having fun. You know, go to this place, show them you're having fun. Fuck these people. Hire her as part of your... I remember when I told my dad that I had bought April that truck. That April and I, we went out and we bought that truck. And she likes to say, well, I put money down on it. Yeah, who was making the payments? And I told my dad, I go, yeah, we got her this truck and blah, 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 blah. One of the first things he said was he goes, well, you know, I just want to make sure you're not stuck with a truck if things don't work out. And I'm like, Jesus. And then he started talking, and he's like, if the show thing doesn't work, I go, the show? He goes, no, her on the show doesn't work. That's the other thing. They never wanted me to hire her on the show. They were like, this is a bad idea. They're like, it's taking up your money. They're like, you could be paying your other guys more. You could be paying yourself more. Let her, she's got a job. Let her work her fucking job. She's not a broadcaster. That kind of fed into their whole, she's in it for the money and the notoriety thing. And I told them, no, that's not the case. And then my attitude was, fuck you, I'll show you. And let's be honest, who ended up being right about that person in the end? It wasn't me. I was wrong. I had to take a huge fucking L on that one. But being able to admit the L, I got my family back. You know, my dad and I were like best friends before she came along. Man, every year I would get my dad tickets to something for his birthday. And it was always out of town games. He and I had this thing where we like to go to different stadiums. In 2019, the year before I met April, we had gone to Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Vikings play the Chiefs. So much fun. There was a Canelo fight the night before. We stayed up in the hotel, watched the fucking Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev fight. It was fucking great. Went and got, went to some Kansas City barbecue joints, the whole deal. My dad's not really a drinker, so we didn't like go out and hit the bars or anything, but it was a fucking blast, man. It was great. All that went away. All of that went away. And like it's slowly coming back. Like you can still, you know how you can kind of feel a vibe? Like my dad and I, we're not all the way back yet, I don't think. Like you can tell we still kind of keep it light. Like it's the Vikings and shit like that. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Where did I leave off in the chat here? Coltrane says, I'm guessing Keanu and Gino are feeling the cash flow shortage. I don't wish bad things for these people. I really don't. I don't know these people well enough. Like I hung out with Keanu and Gino twice, and I think Gino's a good guy. I really do. I think he means very, very well. I think with his wife pressuring him and him not biting into all this shit, I think is actually kind of impressive because that can be difficult. Willie Nilly says, who did you play amateur ball for? I played in Mounds View for a team. We were the Astros. I know that's not very creative. I still have my jersey from the Mounds View Astros. And then after I moved out of the cities, I played a season with the Litchfield Blues. So for 3 or 4 years, I was, Shoreview Magic first, Mounds View Astros for a couple more years after the Shoreview Magic, and then it was the Litchfield Blues. And I think only one of those teams are still going. I don't think the Shoreview and Mounds View teams are even around anymore. Marls Chanson. Oh, about the Alex Stein Bubba thing. He says he ran down the whole Nick shit with Bubba and tried to convince Bubba that you and him were similar because your wives both cheated on you. Got a little hint of shit talking from Alex. Dude, that's what, come on. Don't try to start shit. That's what Alex does. Alex is a provocateur. Alex is a shit talker. And like he and I have both said before, Alex and I aren't friends. Alex and I aren't buddies. Alex and I do a similar thing for a living, and sometimes we talk. Rarely, but sometimes I'll get a text from Alex. Sometimes I'll send Alex a text if it's apropos about something that we think would relate to them. Like last time I talked to Alex was a couple weeks ago. He sent me the Chat Ninja thing. He's like, get this, put your super chats on the screen, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, oh, thank you very much. Then he wrote back something else. I wrote back something else. That was it. So why wouldn't he use me for content on Bubba's show? Especially since like Bubba's shit and my shit, while a little different, is at least in the same universe. I guess it's not that different. Hulk just didn't give Bubba anyone to fuck, which is being a shit friend, if you ask me. Like Hogan was a shit friend to Bubba. Sued him, first of all. And then without asking his buddy, hey, what the fuck happened here? Like you could be mad at Bubba that the tape got out, but you should at least ask Bubba how it got out first. Like I don't think Bubba would just release that tape. So you get mad at your buddy for that. You're the one who decided to fuck his wife, dude. But then also, like Hogan didn't give Bubba back anyone else to fuck. And I think that's kind of gay. No offense. Like Nick's a terrible person and an awful friend, but at least there was a quid pro quo, So no, I don't think Alex is shit talking. And if he is shit talking, he's allowed to shit talk. Like that's kind of his thing. Tin Man Taylor with $2 says, have your kids paint the pumpkins. That'll last. That's a good point. I wonder if they'd like the painting the pumpkins rather than carving them thing. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, Aaron, what would you do and say if your boy wants to become a Catholic priest? Oh, boy. I don't know. I would be against it, kind of. But, like, if he was like, hey, Dad, I either want to become a trans or a Catholic priest. I go, well, let's fucking get you into the seminary. Get you all set up. Willy Nilly with $1.99 says, who you play amateur ball for? Okay, we got to that one. Thank you, guys. 180 away from an extra hour of overtime today. Thank you guys for that. Appreciated. Keith Sartell says, your son is left-handed? Yup, retarded. Wait a minute. Annoyed Wawa Supervisor says, wait, Gino and Keanu are getting married on a Sunday? Mima really saving cash on that Elks Lodge rental, eh? That's why most people who get married on a Sunday are doing it to save money. It's cheaper to get married on a Sunday. But also a Sunday during football season. That's how you know that Gino didn't get a lot of say in it. McBuster says a couple days and Gino is trapped. They own a drunken, raging Moorish sperm bank. King Kong Dong says, my son and I throw football around for an hour every night. He's 3. Chips and Diff says, what if your son wants to be a law tuber? I would say, son, a lot of people decided to do that so that you didn't have to. Don't be, well, you can be a law tuber, son. I just, stay away from the powder, That powder's going to rot your brain. That's permanent brain damage, right? Like years of cocaine abuse gives you brain damage. Like you can't function like a normal adult. How long does it take to get brain damage from cocaine? I love that every time I Google anything with the word cocaine in it, you get the help is available 988 S-word and crisis lifeline. The effects of cocaine on the brain can cause long-term alterations in brain structures that make it very hard to quit or may cause someone to relapse after long periods of sobriety. Using this potent drug can cause other kinds of long-term health damage as well. Well, I think that's like Nick has the mentality of a 14-year-old, for example. And if he's not tard-wrangled by the government or his parents, he will do it again. But the thing about being stuck in a persistent teenage state is that at least you can be wrangled. which is the important part. But once that wrangling stops, and like you're 43 years old, like you shouldn't need to be tard wrangled by mommy and daddy or the government anymore. But once mommy and daddy stop looking, or once the government stops looking, it's right back to it again. That's how kids are. You can't think of it like a 43-year-old man. You got to think of it like a 14-year-old boy who never got that shit out of his system. Powdered cocaine can cause long-term damage to mental health, which appears in the form of mood or emotional disturbances. That would explain the inability to pull up. Because the drug interferes with dopamine reuptake, long-term use may alter the brain's ability to regulate dopamine activity. Auditory hallucinations, restlessness, paranoia, psychosis. The basal ganglia, which makes up a key part of what researchers often call the brain's reward circuit. Overactivity in this region of the brain from long-term use can diminish someone's ability to derive pleasure from other activities like eating, socializing, or sex. Holy shit, he really does have brain damage from it. The extended amygdala, which is involved in feelings of unease, such as anxiety and irritability, can become sensitive from repeated drug use. That chart came out, and he went into a guy who says creepy shit about kids chat and started handing him money and losing his mind. Someone may begin using drugs to escape discomfort caused by sensitivity in this region of the brain instead of getting high. The prefrontal cortex, which is involved in planning, problem solving, and decision making. Holy shit. The long-term effects of drugs on this part of the brain combined with the above regions can reduce someone's impulse control and make them prioritize drug use over anything else, like your children or other parts of your life. And even after you stop, you can still, the gray matter in the brain can continue to be damaged. Holy fuck. Yeah, I think staying away from cocaine is probably a good thing long term for you guys. Just letting you know. It just looks like regarding the research, perhaps. King Kong Dong says, I understand this year the new flavor for popcorn is s'mores. Am I way back on popcorn talk? Holy shit. We got to go down here quite a bit. You and your dad even used to share STDs together, says Chips and Diff. You fucking creep. I want to catch up with the dad stuff. Kraken Slappin says, buying a high country was crazy. That was just for status. Yeah, I think so too. She loved it though. And I loved her. So I wanted her to be happy. I wanted to have the truck that made her happy. But then my family told me years later, they're like, yeah, she would always tell us in private, in life, she only wanted three things: a house. What was it? A house, a truck, and a boat. I was like, that's weird, because usually people would say they want something as like a partner that I love, a house, a truck, and a boat. But her thing was, I want a house, I want a truck, I want a boat. Okay. Sounds ambitious. How are you going to get that? Oh, not work. Fauci's Pangolin says, your dad couldn't go hunting with April if she was on the show. I don't think they were hunting together. I don't know. Honky says, Keanu and her cunt mother literally wish you get homeless. Wow. Yeah, that is kind of a cunty thing. Especially people you've been nothing but fucking nice to your whole life. McBuster, I do not know. I would hope not. Ananalas says, your dad is most upset about naked Baldo Twister. It wasn't naked. Never mind. McBuster says, oh my God. Yeah, there's a couple things McBuster's writing in there that are rumors, and I don't know. Ooh, I love rumors. Bapa Shab says, you should take Father Imholte to Gay 90s and explain that you went there with the polycule. I'm sure he would be very proud. Fauci's Pangolin, I'm still deciding if I should release your sex tape. Elander says, yeah, nobody banged anybody on a sex cross. God damn it. McBuster says, imagine if Kiki and Gino would procreate, that poor child, the megaphones, alcohol, yelling, Mima smooches. King Kong Dong says, my cousin, big Chiefs fan, but wife is religious, so they got married on Sunday last year. but they did it on the Chiefs bye week. That's love. That's love, and that's compromise. McBuster says Melton trying to deflect and call Aaron a pedo for calling Nick a 14-year-old sex pest was really desperate and sad of Melton. Oh, really? I've been really making him cope lately with very little effort. But, hey, it's another win for the toe. Did she actually use the truck other than to just drive it to one place to another? I mean, no, it was mostly for, driving around. I mean, we take it hunting and shit, but not like, we weren't hauling crazy shit around. McBuster is going off on fucking Melton right now. All right, we're all caught up. We got this. Pizza roll with $9.99 says much love. Oh, much love indeed. Thank you, buddy, for the $9.99. I appreciate that. You guys are 170 away from getting an extra hour today. Thank you very much. And hammering out the final goal of this week. I think I have a couple more. Yep, I have a couple more thank yous I need to throw out here. Anthony with $5 says, Messi Chavez from YouTube, you should try and get on the Whatever podcast. You just message them. Look up Doomsday Desiree clips. The Whatever guys, I don't know. I feel like the guys on the Whatever podcast are like, it's kind of like a sad statement of what quote unquote masculinity has become, that these wiener guys, like basically, to me, it's male insecurity. It's not like alpha chadness, because they bring on dumb whores and they just argue with dumb whores like, yeah, look at us owning these stupid bitches. And it's like, you're kind of a punk bitch, dude. No offense. Like, we're just looking at, we're bringing on dumb e-thoughts and going, you don't understand biology. Good one. Like, I would like to see them bring on, like, it doesn't even have to be someone I agree with, but someone that like is intelligent and can like defend themselves, like a Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred's an opportunistic bitch. I hate her, but Gloria Allred's a smart lady. You bring her on the Whatever podcast, and those guys aren't going to be so fucking alpha Chad. I've always gotten the creeps from those guys. Because again, I think it's what guys on the internet who are not like dudes in real life escape to feel like they're dudes. Like, and there's also like a woman issue there too. Like they have an issue with women. They're like, yeah, I need to see this dumb big titted whore that wouldn't fuck me in high school get embarrassed on the internet. It's like, do you really though? Like, couldn't you just watch? Like, I'm not saying you have to watch what I watch, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of good Vikings content out there right now. I haven't watched my purple FTW guy in forever because I'm on a Daniel Perna kick now. So now I'm a Daniel Perna guy, and my Asian guy, he's out the door, which I think Annoyed Wawa Supervisor is going to be very happy about that one. I don't think he was I don't think he liked I don't think he liked me being an Andy fan. Thank you very much to Doorman for $10 over on PayPal. Appreciate that one. Another fake donation coming in. Sorry, I like to needle the people who take me too seriously. Carl, Mersch, Melton, the like. It's just fun. It's fun to make those types of people go, oh. Like, dude, fucking relax. Everyone's just having a good time. 160 away from today. Thank you very much. You guys are very, very nice. Very kind people. Where McBuster says, where are the gift cards, Lebowski? I think I'm still waiting on 2 people to send me their info. I've got 2 left that I haven't been able to send out yet. All right, let's go to text message here. Bubba doesn't like you because he's threatened by you. He recognizes a competitor when he sees it. I don't know about that. I don't know if Bubba sees me as you are my competitor. I don't think he sees me that way. He thinks that I talked a bunch of shit. He thinks that we sent people to his chat and we're talking shit. And the tragedy of it was we never were. Like, it was just people pretending to be me. And Bubba's a little older, and that part of the internet kind of escapes him, I think, a little bit. But yeah, we never sent anyone to talk shit to Bubba. That's all. Sam Show says, I like it when Mersh runs out of money because he gambled it all away and begs for a way to get home. Did that really happen? Fucking you. All right, let's open up this. Everyone keeps telling me that if you talk shit about Nick Fuentes on your show, that all of these Nick Fuentes fans are going to just come out of the fucking, they're going to run the gauntlet at you and they're going to come after you and this and that. And I got to be honest, I'm waiting for it. I would love that. I would love a little fucking Nicholas Fuentes heat. You know how much I would love Nick Fuentes heat? Because A, it's effortless for me because I do think he's fucking cringe. I think he's awful. And how does he have supporters that are like white nationalists? How does he have supporters that are like, yeah, the white man, fucking, I hate the gays and the Jews? It's like, you understand, this guy comes off as, to me, a gay Jew. Like, yeah, I'm going to follow Nicholas Fuentes. He understands what fucking white Chad dudes need. It's like, this guy's a bitch, no offense. Like, you really see this guy as your epitome of like the future of the Western man? If the future of the Western man looks, talks, and acts like Nick Fuentes, we are bottle fucked. I mean, we are, just sodomize us with a rusty fish hook. We're finished if Nick Fuentes is the future. I don't know how this guy got an audience. And I know people say the same thing about me, but I actually agree with them. I don't know how Nick Fuentes got an audience. I think Nick Fuentes' audience is, again, a lot of people who were left behind by the real world and found solace in the internet, and this guy's going to be their hero, because the real world has a way of checking your bullshit where the internet can't. So that's why you see guys like the whatever guys or Nick Fuentes, and they're like, this is what men need to be, and this is what Chad blah, blah, blah needs to be. You take those guys out to a bar, you take them out in real life, and you fucking test them in the kind of shit they preach, and they ain't got shit. Like, they're not dudes. They're not guys. They're not like regular, oh, yeah, we're just, we're what old school masculinity used to be. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're a goddamn coal miner. Shut your mouth. So, Nick Fuentes, in a case of methinks thou doth protest too much, and for the record, those of you saying, look out, Nick Fuentes' people will come after you. Where the fuck have you been? I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for the closet gay Jew brigade to come out at me, and none of them ever do. I mean, we've all been waiting for Nick Fuentes to come out. He won't fucking do it, and it's a good grift on his part because it is enraging, and it keeps eyes on you. People keep watching Nick Fuentes because they're like, is today the day that, Nick Fuentes finally fucking admits, I'm a homosexual? Ghost of Speedy, thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate that. I cannot read that, though. You understand that, sir. White nationalist Nick Fuentes says he's not voting for Trump. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Nick Fuentes isn't voting for Trump. I think Trump's numbers just went up. He says he's not voting for Trump because his administration will be staffed by gays and Jews. Nick, I don't understand why you'd be upset about that. You would think for a guy like Nick Fuentes, if he hears that Trump's staff is going to be filled with gays and Jews, those are job opportunities for Nick Fuentes. Is this just him being a bitter little bitch that Donald Trump kicked him to the curb? Or was it Kanye kicked him to the curb? He didn't even make it to Trump. He was a Kanye guy, and then Kanye's like, I think this white boy's trying to suck my dick. And people were like, who, Milo? He's like, no, the gay one. Like, oh, Nick Fuentes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what people see in this guy other than maybe people whose dads told them they were gay. And then they were like, I'll show you. I'll be a fucking alpha Chad. And then they found a kindred spirit in Nick Fuentes. I don't know. But he says that he's not going to vote for Trump because Trump's going to fill his administration with a bunch of gays and a bunch of Jews. Now, to the Jewish part, I would say, it's politics, dude. Like, what are you going to do? Not have Jews in there? It's going to be difficult. How are you going to get Israel's endorsement? if you don't. And also, I mean, having a political staff where you don't have Jews on it is like saying you're going to buy an NBA team and not hire blacks. Like, it's going to be to your own detriment, man. Say what you want. They're kind of good at the whole politics thing. I mean, what is politics? Politics is taking one side and then taking another side, pitting it against each other so you can work better to accomplish your ends. Who's better at that than Jewish people? Prominent white nationalist ringleader. Ugh. I mean, I thought I'd never say this before, but what a sad state of affairs for white nationalism. I have a low bar for white nationalism as it is, but if Nick Fuentes is your leader, your ringleader, that's the only time white nationalism can sue for defamation of character. Is that, wait a minute, Mediaite, we're suing you. You've defamed white nationalism. And a judge would say, you can't defame white nationalism. We all see white nationalism as like bottom of the barrel shit. And they're like, Your Honor, they said that we're led by Nick Fuentes. And he's like, judgment for the plaintiff. Give them your house. Nick Fuentes has announced that he will not be voting for Donald Trump in the 2024 election. Can we find this? I don't like that Mediaite gets this moral compunction about them where they're like, we will not play a Nick Fuentes clip on this platform, but they'll play every other piece of fucking propaganda. Nick Fuentes, Trump, Jews. Easiest way to find the clip. Here we go. Here's Nick Fuentes. Again,
if you could...
Who fucking thinks that this is the face of what dudes should be? This gets beat up a lot. And if you turned around, you could point to his ass and go, that gets beat up a lot. Coyote NV says, didn't Owen inform us that Richard Simmons was his dad? Well, Richard Simmons, but hold on. Before we play this clip, I'm going to see how much show info retention you guys have. Remember, it's not Richard Simmons. That's not his real name. While Richard Simmons is Nicholas J. Fuentes' dad, as Owen Benjamin taught us, what is Richard Simmons' given name? Do you guys remember? Somebody's going to get it. I'll go Rumble chat. But somebody's going to remember what Richard Simmons' actual name is. Nick was so smart, he replied to Ethan Ralph to bring his movement into Ew, yuck. Chips and Diff says Schmiegel Cornhole. No, it wasn't Schmiegel Cornhole, but you're close. Schmiegel Goldbagel was his name. Coyote NV said, yeah, there it is, 199. Wasn't his dad Richard Simmons. All right, old Nicky boy, old Nicky Fuentes, talking about not voting for Trump because of Jews.
Simply peel back the veneer and you could see what was really going on in the entire right wing. You would not believe it. You would not believe how deep the infiltration goes.
Really? You fucking immature baby? Oh man, if I told you that in a mainstream political movement there's Jews in it, would you believe me? Yes, you immature fucking dolt. Yeah, kind of hard to avoid Jews, Nick. They exist. I'm sorry. And I mean it when I say I'm sorry. I know that is something you feel like you should be apologized for. But yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid it, Nick. They exist. They're around.
And on some level, after seeing what I've seen, knowing what I know now, hearing this stuff constantly now about stopping anti-Semitism, honestly, I don't even want Trump to win anymore.
What a baby. What a baby. Like, I heard a politician say a thing that pandered to a group of people that he needs to vote for them. I don't think I can support him anymore. That you want to show me that you have basic bitch political takes? Here's how you do it. Take a pandering line that a politician said and then go throw a tantrum and go, I need purity out of my candidates. My candidates have to think like me all the time or I can't support them. Ugh, you're a bitch.
I don't care how based he sounds on immigration. I know he's got aura. I know he's funny. That's not because I don't like him, but I really do believe, with zero irony and zero exaggeration, that he is actually a grave threat to the country.
Here we go. It's never good enough. Well, here's what he's setting himself up for. He's setting himself up for the big grift, because if Trump wins, his numbers go down. Like all of those guys, Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer, all those guys, people stopped paying attention to them after Trump won, because Trump won. That was the end game. It's over. Now it looks like Trump might win this thing, so he has to position himself as like, I warned you about Trump, and I told you the Jews and gays, and blah blah blah. Like he's got to keep feeding that grist for the mill. This is how this fucking any movement, white nationalism, liberalism, you go right side of the spectrum, left side of the spectrum, they all have to do this. They all got to keep the Carney, Vince McMahon pro wrestling thing going.
And I'm not saying that because I'm a resistance liberal. I'm not saying that because I'm a leftist.
Actually, some people say you're a Fed. That's what I'm getting in my chat. A lot of people are saying Nick Fuentes is a Fed, and it's been exposed. I don't know. I do think you're just a dipshit. I do. When it comes to Nick Fuentes, I don't think there's anything clandestine about it. I think he's a weak, modern, internet-obsessed man who has now found like-minded people to gravitate toward him because they're all in a hug box saying, oh, no, we're the real alpha chads. We're the real men. It's like, no, they're not wasting their time with this shit.
I'm as right-wing as it gets.
I mean, except the whole you're probably not into chicks thing. I mean, if you could just, Dave Rubin admitted it. They still accept him. Come on, Nick. All Republicans need a gay friend. They have a black friend. They have a gay friend. They even have trans friends now. Get with the times, Nick. Nobody's going to be ashamed of you. It's so awkward. Like, it used to be if people came out of the closet, it was weird. Now when people don't come out of the closet, it's weird. It's like, okay, you're making us know something about you, but you're not admitting it, so that's kind of making us feel crazy about the thing we know because you won't confirm. It's frustrating.
But at this point in time, when you look at America's role in the world in this very dangerous neighborhood.
What heterosexual man talks like this? I'm sorry.
Our country is being destroyed from the inside by these.
Wait a minute. Let me guess. Gays and Jews, Nick?
This international cabal.
Oh, of what?
And they're making it so that no one can have any power in the country without being compromised for Israel. And so, in a sense,
Fuck that, dude. I'm sorry, Nick. You keep thinking that these people are your heroes and they're somehow compromised by Israel. These people believe this shit. Trump, Kamala, he has to believe that there's some clandestine effort to pressure these people. Go talk to most people on the street. Most people support Israel. They think they're a democracy and they think they're, our friend and that we should be back. Like, people have opinions I disagree with. I don't agree with them that they've been a help and an ally and a friend. I think they've if they're a friend, they're that friend with a serious drinking problem that keeps roping you into their bar fights. But to say that Trump is compromised so he has to support Israel, that's just you not being able to process the fact that the guy that you like disagrees with you on Jews in Israel. His son-in-law is fucking Jewish. His daughter converted to Judaism. He's not anti-Semitic. He likes Jews. He's been doing business in New York since he was 9. He's met a Jew or two. But Nick can't process that. So it has to be, Trump's compromised by Israel. Oh, so Donald Trump, the guy who can't be compromised by anyone, fucking takes China head on, the second most powerful country in the world. But when it comes to little old Israel, he's just compromised. It can't be that my daddy, my political daddy, disagrees with me on Israel and Jews. It has to be, he's compromised.
we are a vassal for Israel, and Trump is running as like the king vassal of Israel. There's a reason. When Trump goes up there and says, if Kamala wins, it's over for Israel, listen. When Trump says, Kamala makes Obama look like an Israel lover, listen. When he goes up there and they cheer and...
How is this man not gay? It's frustrating me. I'm actually getting mad now that people don't see it. But like, what are you going to do? What, are you going to find a candidate who doesn't like Israel? You're not going to find a lot of them. You're just not. This is a man finding out that he's in the minority and not being okay with it. And by the way, no non-closeted homosexual wears a Christ is King shirt. Stop it.
Applaud and give standing ovations. He says, I'm a friend of the Jewish people. He said at these events yesterday, this is the most important election of our lifetimes for Israel. I'm going to make Israel great again. He said Israel might be the greatest country in the world.
That's not a gay face. Honestly, that should be on a calendar. A calendar that bears by. They just, are you lonely? Call me. My name's Nick. I can't listen to this guy for much longer than this. Like, people follow this. Like, he's throwing a baby tantrum because he's just now finding out that Republican politicians also simp for Israel. No, get the fuck out of here. And because of that, I'm not going to support Donald Trump. Really? Like, I know that, like, we shouldn't be supporting Israel the way we are. I get that. But if you make that your big issue that you don't vote for someone on, your priorities are fucked. Talk about groceries, you talk about the economy, you talk about jobs, you talk about all this other shit, and this guy's like, he doesn't think about the Jews the way I do. I'm not supporting him. Mikey, do me a quick favor and call back in about 30 seconds. I'm interested to hear what Mikey has to say. Here's the problem. Somebody has to hook up the phone. Hold on. Let me just, Bluetooth and... Best producer in the business, bitch. There we go. Yeah, so I don't know where all this crazy talk comes from that like, oh, watch out what you say about Nick Fuentes or his fans might come. Fuck. Do your Nick Fuentes fans? Bitches. The whole lot of them. Not impressed. All right, let's go to Mikey and see what he's got. Mikey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm just calling in for a little clarification while you're defining what heterosexual masculinity is.
Oh no! Wait! Before you do,
do you still take Midol when your tummy hurts?
Wait! I was gonna make you wait to ask your question because I was going to say
no. I wanted to get it out before you hung up on me.
I have a feeling that you're going to throw this back on me.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So do you still take Midol or?
No. Actually, that was April poisoning me like Misha Barton in The Sixth Sense. She was putting it in my soup so I would grow tits and a vagina. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you very much. Wait until Nick finds out who owns the place where his money is stored, says April's missing orgasm, right? Mr. Beat says he's not gay, and then someone says because he's not. He's super gay. Mango Rancher says Aaron loves Israel. He also loves sucking dick. Hey, wait a minute. Actually, neither of those things are true. One of them I do for money. It's the Israel one, not the... Actually, which one's more embarrassing? I guess I have to ask. I listen to him every once in a while. I find it entertaining. I mean, I just feel like there's so many other things to listen to out there. Landers says, in all honesty, Trump will never release the Epstein-Mossad list. It's just a ploy to get the far-right vote. You wouldn't think that he'd have to try to get the far-right vote. Dead Game says, every world government entity has fought the subversion since the beginning. They're merchants, so they're always allowed in. Thank you, Mikey, for the phone call. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying to pick a fight with Nikki's people for a long time, and I just, give it time. As Jerry Burns once said, we'll stir one up here before we go. Hey, guys, thank you very much. We are 160 away from this morning. Thank you guys very much. Just as they say in the delivery room, just one more little push, and we've got this. Let's go ahead. Oh, Donald Trump. We had the Donald Trump response to the Howard Stern Kamala Harris interview. I mean, I kind of feel like we said earlier in the show that Howard and Kamala kind of handed Trump a victory because it was just such, like, when it wasn't a snooze fest, it was an ass licking fest. It was fucking embarrassing more for Howard Stern than Kamala Harris, because I mean, Kamala Harris she's a politician. She's shameless. She's, just going to do that thing. But for Howard to lay down the welcome, not just lay down the welcome mat, but like bend over, prostrate himself, open up his asshole to her, sit there and go, I don't think they should. Could you imagine the Howard Stern we know growing up telling anyone, I don't think they should be allowed to make fun of you? What? Motherfucker. What? They shouldn't be allowed to make fun of you because you're too important. Motherfucker, she wasn't even important enough for them to pick her first. They wanted to run the 80-year-old zombie because they were like, she's too retarded. We can't put her out there. She'll get creamed. And then the 82-year-old just fully broke in half, and they went, well, I guess we got no choice. Put the other retard in. And then here's Howard going, they shouldn't make fun of you on Saturday Night Live. You're too important. It's just so, like, every time you talk about Howard, you can't help but point out it's embarrassing to watch what he's become. Former President Donald Trump raged at Howard Stern on Wednesday over the radio star's recent interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump, a regular media critic, posted on Truth Social. By the way, I applaud Trump's commitment to his failing Truth Social thing. It's pretty remarkable that he hasn't like sold out and gone full Twitter. I'd sell the Truth Social thing, right? Like, cut your losses and be done with Truth Social and just go back to Twitter. Beta male Howard Stern made a fool of himself on his low-rated radio show when he interviewed Lion Kamala Harris and hit her with so many softball questions that even she was embarrassed. I mean, he's not wrong. It is funny that we have a presidential candidate calling someone a beta male. Beta. Howard Stern, I have to ask you, do you think you are a beta? Well, I've actually gotten 13 COVID shots. Beta. That would be a fun interview, right? Jesse Lee Peterson is on with Howard Stern and just interrupts him with shouts of beta every time Howard says something really fucking pussy. I don't think that SNL should be allowed to make fun of Kamala Harris. Beta male. So, Howard, how long have you been a bitch? Well, I don't think I'm a bitch. I think I'm trying to be safe during COVID, Jesse. Beta. Are you, Howard, do you think you are a beta baby? Do you think, Howard, I just want to ask you, you used to have a retarded black midget on your show. Well, actually, he's a mentally challenged black beta. I want to know, Robin, do you think you are an Uncle Tom? Hey, what? Jesse? Howard, I want to ask you a question. What's wrong with the blacks? That's my favorite Jesse Lee Peterson moment, is where he's interviewing Mersh and Royce, and he goes, what's wrong with the blacks? Like, he's accusing them. Like, I know you know the secret. What's wrong with the Negroes? What are they doing wrong? Tell me. You know what? Before Howard Stern retires, I've decided I want the Howard Jesse Lee Peterson interview. Trump then went on to say he looked like a real fool, working so hard to make a totally incompetent and ill-equipped person look as good as possible, which wasn't very good. I dropped Howard a long time ago, like most others, and have since been credited with very good judgment Mega 2024. You got to say this about Trump. He's fucking evergreen, man. The shit doesn't change with Donald. It's the same. He hits the same notes every time. He's like an expert musician. Why change the recipe if classic Coke is good? Now, at one point, Stern asked Harris if Trump wins, God forbid, would you feel safe in this country? Would you stay in this country? Howard, I'm doing everything I can to make sure he does not win. Do you think she laughs like a cackling hoppy, Howard, or do you think that's okay for a woman to do? What if he does? How can you be safe? I don't know why that turned into Florentine a little bit. I just want to know, like, what if he does? Like, what if like Howard, like, what if Trump wins? Like, is that going to be a problem for you? How can you be safe? He's saying. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. This time, I know what I need to do. Stern press. These guys all have this idea of Trump that is basically them if they had power. Like Johnny and I have said it a million times, and I'm sure that everybody's really glad that this election is almost over so we can stop saying it. But everything they say about Trump is a small window into them. He's going to prosecute his political opponents. Why are you afraid of that? Oh, because you've been prosecuting him this entire time. You're worried that he's going to retaliate against you, but you won't be honest with the American people and tell them it would be a retaliation for what we've done. So instead they go, oh yeah, he's going to be a really bad guy. And he's going to prosecute all his political opponents. And, you know, he'll have 4 years to do whatever he wants, and he'll just ram everything through. And his whole agenda, first of all, every president tries to jam their agenda through. That's part of the job. Second of all, it's you guys who push shit on people. It's you guys who do whatever you can. The Democrats ended the filibuster when it came to the Supreme Court because they didn't want to play by the rules. So stop it. Stop with the Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to do that, because all it sounds like to me is, hey, Trump's going to give us a taste of our own medicine. And you know what? A lot of people in this country would like to see that happen. They'd like to see you get a taste of your own medicine, so they'll probably vote for Trump. What are the polls looking like today before we get to more of this? Oh, shit. Trump up in Georgia, Trump up in Pennsylvania, and a new Activolt general election poll has Trump ahead in the general election by 2 points, 51-49. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Arizona, Trump up 1. Well, let's see if those numbers hold. What happens to the electoral map? So Trump in Pennsylvania, Trump in North Carolina, Trump in Georgia, Trump in Pennsylvania. Let's give Kamala there. Trump in Arizona. Okay, let's even give Kamala Nevada. Yeah, if those numbers hold, it looks like a Trump 286 to 252 victory. And that's without giving Trump Michigan or Wisconsin or Nevada. That's assuming that little blue wall, they call it, in the middle of the country holds. Uh-oh. That's not good. But I think Trump's going to take Michigan and Nevada. I really do. That would be a 307 to 231. Now, Wisconsin would be really cool, but I don't think he's getting Wisconsin. Minnesota, we're dumb as fuck up here. I don't think Trump's going to get Virginia. But if those poll numbers hold, Trump's looking like he's on the upswing. I honestly, I do think Kamala has used up all of her voodoo. Like I feel like Kamala has used up everything, like all of the like media propping up and all of that stuff. I feel like it's been used up, and she doesn't have any more of it left. So it's kind of downhill from here. Coltrane says it's already showing signs of Trump winning Wisconsin. Okay. I mean, I'll believe you on that. I haven't really followed Wisconsin and what's going on there, so, you know, you would know better than I do. That's for sure. About 900 of you checking out The Toe at the moment. Thank you guys very much. Go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. I appreciate it. So, yeah, now here they talk about how Trump, like has been on Howard's show before and the stuff he said on Howard's show. Yeah, Trump was on Howard's show back when it was still good. That's basically it. Trump was on Howard's show back when it was funny. Kamala went on when it fucking sucked ass and nobody cared anymore. 160 is our number for today. What do you say? A little early morning rally and we knock that out and we do a 1 hour of overtime. It's nice that our final goal of the week started under $200 today. I appreciate that. So just throw in your shekels, as it were, and let's call it another win for the toe. McBuster says, got to tap into that cult of personality factor. The Dems got it with Obama. Breitbart and Bannon ran with that and made Trump the birther movement. Guy then trained him up to beat Billary. Camel cult now. That feels like an incomplete sentence. Fauci's Pangolin says, Aaron, you forgot about the 40 million votes that come in overnight while we're sleeping. Oh, you know what? You're right. I did forget about that. Shit. You know, sometimes I become a Republican for a minute and I go, oh man, I can't wait. This election's going to be played straight up and we're going to find out who won. And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, until 1:30 in the morning, then they're just going to start kind of slowly, wheeling in those hand trucks full of ballots. And then wouldn't you know it, it's going to tighten up by the time you wake up in the morning. Son of a bitch. I remember that, man. I remember going to bed being like, Trump's got this in a landslide. Like he was killing early on in 2020. And then I literally went to bed because I thought it was over. I woke up, got to the radio station, sat down in the studio, pulled up the electoral map, and all of a sudden it's blue. And I'm like, it needed to. But I look it up and it's blue, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck happened? And you're reading articles like, oh yeah, it was all the mail-in ballots overnight. What? Like, how we talk about how like judges wouldn't hear the challenges to the election and all that shit. And, we can't see all the evidence and all that. Sometimes you don't need evidence. Like people underplay their instincts a lot. And like your instincts on the 2020 election was you woke up in the morning, you saw how much the vote had swung, you asked for an explanation, and they went, well, you see a bunch of mail-in ballots came in overnight and we counted them and most of them went almost unanimously to Biden. And you look at that and you go, no, I don't think that really happened. I don't think that's really one person, one vote, like legit straight up how the election went. I just don't. And they're like, oh yeah, what's your proof? And I'm like, just this gut feeling that I have that sounds like bullshit. It's like when somebody lies about cheating, not that I would know anything about that. But it's like when somebody lies about cheating and they're like, oh, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. I was out with my friends. I was on my way home. Then my car broke down. Then a guy pulled over to help me, but then his car stalled. And you're like, and then they just come up with this story and you just go, yeah, it's bullshit. They're like, well, you can't prove I'm cheating. Okay. Me not being able to prove you cheated doesn't mean you didn't. It does. That's what bothers me about the Biden campaign in 2020. Just because you won't let us prove it to you that you fucking cheated doesn't mean you didn't do it. It doesn't make you innocent. I still think you guys are cheating fucks and we just never got a chance to prove it. That's it. Chips and Diff says, I remember you and Oz watching the Michigan numbers going from Trump to Biden. Yeah, a tiny little bit of revisionist history. You got a little bit of Bernstein Bears Mandela effect going on there. You thought you heard Oz and I watching the numbers go from Trump to Biden. Does anyone actually remember who my co-host was the day after the election? This is good steel toe trivia. If you know this one, you have a fucking autistic brain. That's for sure. Who was the co-host the morning after the election? And don't guess. If you know, you know. Look at that. Sam Show got it right away. Yes, Matt. Matt was our co-host the morning after the election, and that's a weird fucking day, man. That was a weird morning. I remember the day after the 2016 election, though, when I brought my fucking shotgun to work and I'm sitting there cocking a DP-12 live on the air, losing my fucking mind because Trump won. I remember that. My first wife, we stayed up late, man. Did we, was our daughter even? Yeah. We had one kid at that time because November, I think we were just about to have our second kid when Trump got elected. And I remember being in the basement because she's like almost ready to deliver a fucking kid. So I didn't want to be too loud and noisy and shit like that. And she was resting. And then I would come up. We had a split level back then in Sauk Rapids. And I would come up to the upstairs steps to give her a little update every once in a while, like how it was going. And then I remember like when it switched over, I think it was, they were about to call Pennsylvania and that was going to be it. I ran upstairs to tell her and she was already standing in the living room watching TV. Like she's like, oh my God, this is going to happen. I'm like, yep, it's going down, man. For sure. I actually had cribbage. I was in a cribbage league. And my cousin, who is a massive Trump supporter, he was in the motorcade for Trump when Trump came to St. Cloud this year. And my cousin and I were partners in a cribbage league. And we were playing. And we didn't talk about the election too much because we kind of got the sense that a lot of the people in our cribbage league were Hillary supporters. And downstairs at the red carpet where our cribbage league was a big get-together in the convention room for the Republican Party. And he's got his phone out. I've got my phone out. And both of us, when we were on our way to cribbage, we were like, he's not going to win, but this will be kind of funny to watch. This will be kind of a fun night, whatever. We start looking at our phones and like halfway through cribbage league, we're like, dude's got a fucking shot. Like he's winning in Virginia. I remember when I saw he's winning in North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Florida. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like he's going to win. Oh, no, you know what? We weren't there yet. We were like, you know what? He's doing well early. This is pretty cool. I didn't think he'd do this well. And then like Michigan and Wisconsin was really close. And we're like, what the fuck? Like he's going to do this thing. And I remember when Texas turned out not to be close because that was the year they were trying to tell us in 2016 that Texas was going to be, oh man, it's going to be a nail biter, Beto O'Rourke and all that shit. And he crushed in Texas. And by the time we left cribbage, we was like, this motherfucker might pull this thing off. Like I'm skeptical of anyone who writes into this show right now and goes, oh yeah, 2016 election night, I totally knew Trump was going to win. And it was 100% we knew the whole night. No, you didn't. I mean, we were all kind of shitting bricks for a while there. And we were all like, oh my God, this thing's actually going to happen. Like we didn't have a lot of faith that it was going to. But then it did. Then it did. Packer Backer with $2 says 2020 Fox News called Arizona for Biden 5 minutes after the polls closed. 1% of the votes had been counted. Trump's biggest enemy this election cycle is going to be the media. If they say he lost, he lost. Bappa Shab says Midwesterners still play cribbage and go to bingo halls. Yeah. Fucking cribbage rules. You are not going to shame me out of cribbage. No, the wife during the 2016 election was not April. April had just graduated from high school. It's actually not far off. I had 1.5 children. When April graduated high school, I had a kid. I was married with children when she graduated high school. I'm a fucking pig. I'm, I believe, as the kids say, problematic. I believe. No, Buffalo Jockey, I did not get DP'd by 12 guys. We clearly have ourselves a misunderstanding. Sam Show says, cribbage, that sounds so old people. No, cribbage league is only for really cool people. You see, you didn't know that. I don't expect you to. Approachable says, cribbage league, we already know you're gay. You don't need to prove it. You can't play cribbage and pound pussy? You can't get pussy and play cribbage. What are you, fucking gay? I play cribbage after I get pussy. That's what I do. I fuck and then I play cribbage. You didn't know this about me. Yes. Crush pussy and peg. That's what I do. Wait. You know what? Could have come out better. Coltrane says, I 100% thought he had no shot. Yeah, and then he only lost Minnesota by like 1 point. Bird Collector says, I really hope this is the year Minnesota flips, but I know it won't. Fucking Metro and Duluth. Yeah, don't forget Rochester, too. McBuster says, all people from Minnesota are like the two blondes in Fargo. Sadly, yeah. I think oh, yeah, no, I went to community college for 2 years. And I went to White Bear Lake. Go Bears. Carlos says Beto came within 2 points of beating Ted Cruz. Yeah, but it didn't transfer down ballot. Yeah, King Kong Dong says, don't shit on my bingo and cribbage habits. Exactly. Cheeseburger Pie says, I played so much cribbage when I was on vacation. You played cribbage in the joint? Oh, man. I was only there for 6 hours, Cheese, but if they would have told me I could play cribbage, I would have asked for a board and a deck of cards. That'd have been a fucking hoot. Dude, if you would have got me a cribbage board while I was in jail, and they would have said, all right, Aaron, you're processed, you're free to go. Take it easy. I would have been like, can I stay? I got a real good game going right now. I want to hang around for a little bit. Cribbage is good for helping learn math. Yeah, it's a fucking great game. Anybody shitting on cribbage, they're the problem. Approachable says, to be fair, she is enough of a hoe bag. If she was capable of getting pregnant, she probably would have had a kid before she graduated high school. Jesus Christ. Damn, man. Mango Rancher says, we've seen the pussy you get. Not impressed. Really? Not impressed by the pussy I get. You know, that really hurts my feelings. That's really going to change my outlook of myself, Mango Rancher. I wanted to live up to your standards. We've got a text coming in. Cribbage is for old ladies with horn-rimmed glasses and sweaters. Buck Euchre? That's a man's game? Buck Euchre sounds like a minor league PA announcer. The fuck is Buck? Ladies and gentlemen, now to give you the starting lineups for your Charleston, Chattanooga Lookouts, please welcome Buck Euchre. I was working overnights then, and there was a lot of happy people when it was all called. Yeah, for sure. Carlos Cameo says, in small-town Minnesota, having a baby after you graduate high school makes you an old maid. You know what? That's a good point. In central and west central Minnesota, if you have a baby after you graduate high school, you're kind of gay. Kind of gay. Cribbage makes sense. Aaron likes multiple holes. Oh. 15 for 2. What? No, that's cribbage. Like it doesn't work. The reference 31 for 2. A pair for 2. But 3 is 6. Makes sense. Aaron got the ruined body. Oh, boy, can't read that. Oh, boo. Mango Rancher, take it easy, buddy. Watch yourself. Jesus Christ, pal. 383 Novocaine with $2 says, that's good. You play cribbage in jail. You play a lot. Oh, well then fucking let's go. Chevrolet JB says, crush pussy and get pegged. Got it, Aaron. It's not what I meant. I meant the pegging was it's cribbage. They call it pegging when you move your thing. Yeah. Approachable says, Kong is pretty much the only one on your side about cribbage. That's how you know you're wrong. Kraken Slappin says, Buck Euchre sounds like a gay porn star name. Why does he have to be gay? MN Nice says, oh my God, me and my boyfriend are arguing now. I believe Euchre is so gay and a Wisconsin thing. What the fuck is Euchre? I mean, I've never seen it. I've never played it. I believe Buck Euchre is a rumor. Buck Euchre. How to play Buck Euchre. It's a 9-minute video.
Hello.
Shut up. I don't like this guy. Looks just too friendly. Looks like too nice of a man.
In order to play Buck Euchre,
we need cards?
all you'll need is a modified 24-card deck and a way to keep score.
Shut up. I already hate this. I already hate this game. Why aren't you playing with 52 cards? Why are we playing with a 24-card deck?